We interrupt our regular programming at this time to bring you a special update from Lake Monticello.
We're here today to witness the groundbreaking ceremony that starts the extensive construction and refurbishment of Lake Monticello's meeting facilities. Known as the R&R for replacement and renovation, this event is a milestone for Lake Monticello. For more than a year, your board of directors, along with many volunteers from the community, have worked to bring this day about.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Lake Monticello Owners Association groundbreaking ceremony. I am Rich Behringer, the current president of the LMOA Board of Directors. For us at the lake, this is the largest program the association has ever undertaken, and we are very excited to be finished with the planning and the programming phase. Once we celebrate this construction start, in just over 1 year, you'll see a new clubhouse here, a new cart barn here, and at the Ashlawn site, you're going to see a totally renovated main clubhouse. All these facilities were constructed during the 70s and are definitely, desperately in need of attention. Before we actually turn shovels, I'd like to introduce you to the board of directors and the general manager and our special guests. Directly to my right is Vice President Tom Braithwaite. Next to Tom is Treasurer Mike Harrison. Sitting in the back row in the white shirt is our Secretary Bing Spittler. On the end in the white sweater, we have our Director Marlene Weaver. Behind Marlene is Stephanie Davis. And last but not least, Director Jim Gerling. We are fortunate to have with us today, representing the Chamber of Commerce for Fluvanna, Joe Chesser. And Judy's waving from the background, reminded me, Catherine, I am so sorry. Sitting also is our General Manager, Catherine Neely. No, you're not, my fault. Robert Popowitz, the Director of Community Development for Fluvanna County. Terry Blankenship from Aqua America. Easy. Julia Scare from Draper Aden, one of our contractors. Where is she? I lost sight of her. Oh, hi, Julia. Jay Stolfert, our banker insurance agent. And this is important to us. Jim Boyd and Carmine Calfiero from Grimm and Parker, our architect. And Jonathan Moore also. From Nielsen, our construction contractor, who is really important today, we have Jim DeLucas, Dan Heighton, and Rocky Moulton. We thank you all for taking time out from your busy schedules. Other folks who are just too busy today couldn't make it, but we appreciate the fact that they were willing to attend and support us on this great day. What I would like to do is open the podium up, and at this time I would like to invite Director Braithwaite to say a few words.
Thanks, Rich. This groundbreaking is a major milestone for Lake Monticello. It's a great example of what can be achieved when the members pull together. I want to take this time to thank all those who helped get support for the vote and helped with the design, options, and decisions. I'm going to start with Marlene Weaver, who pushed this idea more than 2 years ago. It was her initiative that got me interested in running for the board, and her leadership that has propelled the project. Next, I'm going to recognize Tom Sullivan as chair, Sue Wolf as vice chair, and Jennifer Evans as the secretary of an ad hoc committee that we use for the determination of the needs and the wants for the project. This committee worked at an accelerated pace from August to October of 2014, and they gathered information that was including surveys and town halls, and the input from these things were what the board used to make decisions for the project. They were assisted by regular committee members Roland Carlson, Carol Forsberg, George Lissi, John Platt, and Chris Zullo. Bill Alderman was the community member at large for this ad hoc group, and they met numerous times to develop subcommittees to assist on surveys, communications, and marketing. The Finance Committee with Chair Jim Mixter worked hard for developing funding options and analyzed dues impact throughout the process right up till today. A particular note was the Yes campaign last spring, led by John Platt and assisted by Pat Stenger, Deborah Nixon, and Catherine Hunter. They got the buttons out supporting the vote, and everybody wore them. And let's not forget the great YouTube videos explaining what the project was all about by Mark Barros. I want to also recognize the tremendous effort put forth by the broadcast group, as they supported all the board meetings, town halls, and even the working sessions. Their ability to provide operators and all the equipment to record and broadcast these events was instrumental in keeping the membership informed. Bill Schaefer led the effort to get all of that on YouTube, which was a first for LMOA. I also want to thank Paul Seaver of the Golf Committee, Carol Brown of Building Roads and Ground Committee for their wise input and close monitoring of the project. The board of directors, including Cole Hunter and Charles Harrelson from the previous board, Charles is here with us today. Put your hand up, Charles. They supported this project to the max. And the design team of Mike Harrison, Catherine Neely, Angie Cook, and myself appreciates all of the board and committee support that we had. Special kudos to Mike for all his hard work, because I saw his work up close for the last 18 months, and no one has worked harder on this than Mike. Last but not least, I want to thank the architects of Grimm and Parker, Jim Boyd, Carmine and Jonathan for all your hard work and initiative. Project has been a team effort. It was a pleasure of being part of such a good team with a strong community involvement. I also want to thank my wife for all the support she's given me for the last 18 months. She reminds me of all the things I forgot to do. And I'm sure you all join me in looking forward to a successful project with a world-class contractor such as Nielsen Builders, led by our project executive, Jim DeLucas. Jim, put your hand up. And our project manager, Rocky Moulton. Thank you.
Just briefly before our next speaker comes up, as Tom noted, our treasurer, Mike Harrison, is on the team to put this together. We had several series of town halls where everybody in the community, over 4,600 homeowners, were able to input what they thought ought to be in this, or in a lot of cases, what not should be in this. It took a team, Tom, Mike, Catherine, and Angie Cook. Angie, our contracts lady, there she is, way in the back, to work with the contractors to sort out all these requirements and put them to task, which is now going to happen. Additionally, being the treasurer, Mike was the man responsible for putting together, finding the money to put together to create this in a timely manner. For those of us my age and around there, you understand the term of the one-arm paper hanger. If that quote was created today, I think Mike would be the guy who they design it after. Mike, your podium.
So everything in the past is in the past. So now we look forward to the future. What we've got here is an opportunity to make this community much more progressive and much more focused on the activities that are centered around the members and the people and the guests who live and play in this community. We now have more 15-year-old children and below than we have retirees. We have gone through a major transition in this community. We're not only a bedroom community, but we're a place where people don't want to leave on the weekends. They want to play. And so as we look at these two facilities, there's not much new at Ashlawn Clubhouse, with the exception of some improvements to the grill and some new meeting room space and some changes. But the real change is coming right here. And so I want you just to take a few minutes to look to the future. The first thing that's going to happen here on December 16th is this damn telephone pole, power pole is going. And that'll be the sign that real work is really starting, okay? And then what we've got to have is we've got to have a sewage tank. Sounds glamorous, but right below us here are 2 tanks that we got to get rid of. And we have to trap all the Eagles' crap so that we can put it in the sewer line so that we can move forward with the project. So there's a few overhead items that we have to do when we get started on this construction. But I just want you to visualize the possibilities. We'll have a beautiful lawn out front of the Bunker Recreational Facility, a pavilion. Sounds like an opportunity for concerts on the lawn. Sounds like an opportunity to bring young kids and play yard games. We've got this wonderful land behind the building that can be developed into parkours, places. There's at least one board member who's actively pursuing a beautiful gazebo right over here to handle weddings. But for those of you who commute into Charlottesville to work, or maybe you go someplace else to work, one of the nice features is going to be able to call the pub on 53 while you're coming in and drive right up and pick up your evening order. Or meet with the kids and mom here for dinner before you go to a soccer game. Or after the soccer game, come in and have some snacks before you take the kids home and go to bed. Watch a little sports. Have a little opportunity to socialize and drink some beer. Sit out on the deck in the summertime and watch the golfers go by and watch the beautiful scenery and the water and everything, and make this place especially an opportunity to come together as friends and colleagues and members. A wonderful business and event center that we will have here, along with the event opportunities in the new building, in the newly renovated Ashlawn Grill area, will provide wonderful opportunities for catered events and for meetings and for parties. So I welcome you all to the start of your new community, an opportunity where we're not limited just by a bunch of old buildings and trying to figure out how to maintain them. Let us not also forget that part of the R&R includes trails, upgrades to the basketball courts, improvements in the tennis court, and more opportunities at the playground for all kinds of those young kids that we have that are running around here having a great time. I am always inspired. I live over on the lake, on the landslide area. I'm always inspired when I go out the road on West Lake Forest and I see 2 kids with a fishing pole heading down to the lake, all by themselves, fully secure. We have a great community, and this change that we're about to make here is going to make it even greater. Thank you very much.
And then to round out our speakers today, the lady who cleans up after the board every day and who is responsible for all the day-to-day operations and has been part of the design team for the new buildings, our general manager, Catherine Daly.
Thank you, Rich. And thank you all for coming today. It's a hard act to follow, Mike and Tom, but I do bat cleanup. So I thought about what I would say to round out the speakers today, and of course I thought of Thomas Jefferson, and those of you who know me know why. Jefferson writes, "Architecture is my delight, and putting up and pulling down one of my favorite amusements." And we are going to be doing both of those things right here. We will be constructing a new facility, new cart barn, and tearing down the old. It's a great way to sort of round it out here. And another connection is this is project 40 years in the making. It was a little over 40 years ago that these buildings were constructed. It took Jefferson 40 years to see his vision realized in Monticello. It's taken us about 40 years to realize ours here. We're hoping the construction phase, though, will take a little less than that, Nielsen. I would like to thank the board, this board, the 2 boards prior to that, who have all worked diligently. They had a vision. They followed through on that vision. They kept the ball moving. Even as board members changed. I want to thank the staff who really were continuity through the whole process. Angie, I relied on you heavily to coordinate all of the design team meetings. I appreciate that. All the hard work that everybody put in. And most importantly, the property owners here who saw the vision, took the ball and ran with it. You convinced other property owners that it was time to make a new change, and I appreciate your vision. Thank you all so much, and let's hand this back over to you, Rich.
Please, just an important note, once we do the actual ceremonial dirt turning, you're welcome to stay for refreshments. Please do that, talk to everybody. And now, without further risking making this ceremony longer than it really has to be, let's formally begin the construction phase. And as they say in NASCAR, gentlemen and ladies, man your shovels.
No, they didn't. I already asked that. Fix your divots.
Yeah, I hit a rock too.
Here we are, we're on the golf course. We're fixing our divots. Fix your divots. Thank you, Rocky.
I think I have to return it to Nielsen.
This piece of sod is available for $10. Money goes to the furniture of the building.
Well, the vanilla's pretty good. I ate that already. This is the chocolate.
Take a big scoop.
Oh, yeah. No problem.